Welcome. Today we're going to take a look at how to create our part and run the toolpaths in Autodesk Inventor. Come along with me. You should have your iPad set up next to you with this video playing and Inventor opened up on your computer matching my screen here. To begin, we're going to go to the orange file in the top left hand corner of the screen. We're going to select New, and then we're going to choose a standard IPT from the menu that appears. Standard IPT, this one right here. Click it once and select Create. Next, we're going to start with a 2D sketch on our XY plane. Click Front in our World View Cube to zoom out. That's always good practice for us. And we're going to start with our Rectangle tool. We're going to begin with our origin, which is the green dot in the center of our screen. Make sure you get a green dot there. Click and stretch out your rectangle. Our horizontal dimension for this part is going to be 8 inches. Press the Tab key on the keyboard. Our vertical dimension is going to be 4, and then press Enter on the keyboard. We have our 8-inch by 4-inch part. Press the Escape key on your keyboard to let go of your rectangle tool. Now we're going to go up to the ribbon bar on the right hand side. We're going to click green check mark, Finish Sketch, and go home. Now we're going to take to Extrude and give this depth. Click your Extrude button here. If you take a look, this orange arrow is pointing towards us, which means that our extrusion is coming towards us and our sketch is on the back side of our part. We want to flip that so our sketch is on the front. So let's flip this direction arrow. And we also want to change the distance we're extruding it to 3/4 of an inch or 0.75. And click OK. Next, we need a rectangle on here for our text to fit inside. So let's get a 2D sketch, place it on our front view. Click Front in our World View Cube. And we're going to get a rectangle on here as well. Get our rectangle tool. Now we're not starting at our origin here. We're going to start inside on our gray box, the gray part that you see. Click, let go of the mouse button, and stretch out a rectangle. This rectangle for the horizontal dimension is going to be 7.25. Press the Tab key on the keyboard to activate the other box. And this vertical dimension is going to be 2.25. And press Enter on the keyboard. Press the Escape key to let go of your rectangle tool. Now we have our part size, rectangle size dimensioned, but we also have to dimension the location for where it is on the part. We're going to do that with the Dimension tool up here. Click the Dimension tool. We want to click the left-hand side of our gray box, the gray part, and the left-hand side of the rectangle we just created. And then bring this dimension down and off the part. This dimension is going to be 3/8 of an inch, which is 0.375. And then press Enter on the keyboard or the little green check box right here. We also have to dimension it going top to bottom to center it. So I want the bottom of the gray part that we created and the bottom of the rectangle we just created. And bring this dimension off to the side. This dimension is 0.875 or 7/8 of an inch. And then press Enter on the keyboard or the green check mark right here. That looks great. Let's go up to our ribbon bar, green check mark, Finish Sketch. And we're going to take and extrude this. We're going to extrude. You can see that this is popping out away from the part. We want it to be cut in, so let's flip our direction. You can also see that this is cutting all the way through, which is not what we want. So we're going to change our extrusion distance to 3/16 of an inch, which is 0.188. We also want to make sure that our cut selection is highlighted. If it doesn't automatically highlight and the join selection is there, you're going to see that it doesn't quite look right. So we want to have our cut feature selected and then click OK. Now we need to place our text. To do that, we're going to get another 2D sketch, the drawing with the green plus mark. We're going to place that on the bottom of the rectangle we just extruded. Click Front to center it on our screen. And then we're going to get our text tool. We're going to stretch out a box inside the rectangle. Our Format Text window is going to open up. I'm going to leave my text at Toma. If you would like to change it to something different, that's fine. But you need to make sure that it's not too detailed because we are cutting it on a CNC mill. Our text height, we're going to change here to 1.25. And then I'm going to come into the main field that we have here. And I'm going to type my name that I want to engrave or type my name that I want to CNC mill out and put a space in between each one of the letters. So I'm going to use the name Alex, A space L space E space X. So I have my name with a space in between each one. This space is a little big for us. So now that I have it typed, I'm going to come back, highlight the space, and I'm going to change the space distance to 0.24. Go back to the next space in between the letters and change that to 0.24. The next space in between the letters, change it to 0.24. So my text height is 1.25, my space height is 0.24, and then click OK. I still have my text tool attached to my cursor. I'm going to press the escape key to let go of that on the keyboard. And when I get my pick tool, my arrow tool back, I'm going to click my text when it highlights red, and I'm going to center it, top to bottom, left to right, inside my rectangle. That looks pretty good right there. Let's green check mark finish sketch. And now I'm going to come up to the create section in my ribbon bar, and I'm going to choose the feature or the tool emboss. First it wants me to do is select the profile, so I'm going to click my text when it turns red, click to select it. I want to have it embossed from face, so this first option should be selected. And then the next thing I want to do is change my extrusion depth. I'm going to change the number in default here to 0.188, which is 3/16 of an inch, and then click OK. You can see our text pop out. That's awesome. Let's go and save this. We're going to go to File, go down to Save As. We're going to put this into our H drive, and you're going to type, what is the name of this part? This is your name plaque, N-A-M-E, P-L-A-Q-U-E, and then you're going to enter your last name. So this should be the part that you're working on, name plaque, and then your last name. And click Save once it's in your H drive. Now that we have it saved, let's move on to creating the tool paths to cut this part out. Above the ribbon bar, there are tabs that are up here: 3D Model, Sketch, Annotate. Go across till you find the Cam tab. Once the Cam tab is selected, we're going to go to our Setup folder. Setup folder is right here. When the Setup folder opens up, there's going to be a bunch of tabs that open up here at the top in our model browser. We always work these tabs from left to right, and each tab we're going to go and follow through from top to bottom. In this first tab, we only need to change one thing. You can see that our origin is in the middle of our block. We need that changed to our model origin down here in the lower left-hand corner. So in our work coordinate system, where it says origin, we're going to select model origin from the options that are there. Next, we're going to go across to our stock tab. We're going to click on that tab, and in this one, we're going to keep it at relative size box, but where it says stock offset mode, we're going to change this to no additional stock. That looks great. Let's move on to our next tab, our post-process tab. Right here in the program name and number, we're going to highlight that default that's in there, and you're going to enter in once again name plaque and your last name. Okay, so you got the project name, name plaque, and then your last name is in there. This section's done. Down towards the bottom here, click OK. Next, let's run our pockets. So we're going to go to the 2D milling section in our ribbon bar, and we're going to find 2D pocket. That's here. Our tabs in our model browser are going to change a little bit, and the first thing they want us to do in the first tab is select the tool. So let's click on the tool button. And in the tool section, we're going to scroll down just a little bit until you see end mills right here underneath sample libraries. And we're going to choose tool number 1, which is an 1/8 inch flat end mill, and click select. Now that we have our tool selected, let's go to the second tab in the list. On the second tab, it wants us to click the pockets where we want the material to be removed. So the first one we're going to click is the background. Make sure you're on the back side of this part, not the top edge, the back side of this. Click to select it. The next thing we need to do is I might turn this just a little bit. Orbit tool. Let's turn this just a second so that we can see the bottom inside of the little donuts for our letters. Press the escape key to let go of your rotate tool, and I also want the bottom section of my A and the bottom section inside my E. Make sure you're on the bottom and not the top. Now that I have those chosen, we're going to go back to Home, and we're going to move to the next tab, which is our heights, and we're going to establish those. The top three are the ones we're going to focus on. We're going to change retract height to stock top, and we're going to change the clearance to 0.2. Stock top 0.2, and the third one, stock top and 0.2. So the top three, clearance height, retract height, and feed height, all say stock top 0.2, stock top 0.2, stock top 0.2. Let's go next to the next tab. Okay, here in this one, we're going to come down to where it says stock to leave. We're going to uncheck that box here, stock to leave, and that's all we need to do in this one. Let's go to our final tab. We're going to change this safe distance to 0.2. As we go down in leads and transitions, we're going to uncheck lead in. We're going to uncheck lead out. And the ramp style, we're going to change from helix to plunge. Now that we have that done, we're going to click OK in the bottom of this menu here in our model browser. It's going to generate the toolpaths. As you can see, the toolpaths are going around and our part's getting cut out. Okay? So next, what's going to happen, click your Setup 1, and we're going to go up here to Simulate on the left-hand side of our ribbon bar. We're going to turn our stock on, and we're going to click the Play button in the center of our screen. This is going to go around, show how the CNC mill is actually going to cut your part out. No red spaces down here in the bottom means we don't have any collisions. You can see that every part is getting cut out, including the two pockets for the A and the E. In our model browser bar on the left hand side, we're going to click Close, and now we're going to post-process this part. So right next to Simulate, Post-Process. In here, we want to change the output folder to your H drive. Click in this little box right here. You're going to go to your H drive, select folder. Yours may just say H:, it may not have the rest of this here, and that's okay. Your program name should be name Plaque and your last name, and click Post. Click Save once again. Give it a second to process, and then another screen is going to pop up that has all your M and G codes and X and Y coordinates on it here. In the top right hand corner, we're going to close this out. Once it's post-processed, let's update our save. So we're going to go to the orange file in the top left hand corner, and let's go down to Save. Not Save As, we don't want to change the file name, we just want to update our changes. Now with this done, you're going to go over to a computer that's connected to the CNC mill, and on that computer desktop you should see a CNC mill icon right here. Click to activate it and launch the program. We're going to choose Translate Execute. We're going to go to our H drive, first initial last name 000, and we're going to choose our name Plaque and your last name out of the options that are there. Click Open. Click Yes, that we know we're using defaults, and we're going to click Preview. You're going to type F on your keyboard, and this is where you're going to stop, go get your teacher. They're going to want to see this screen on your computer. They'll help you load the block into the CNC mill and then move you forward with the next steps. Nice job. Now is the time to go get your teacher.